Hi guard! Today I'm going to be teaching you how to tape a flag. So you will need your flag pole, you will need your silk, 2 crutch tips, they look like this, they're the little soft rubbery ones, and 2 metal bolts. One of them should be larger than the other, like this. Hi Addie! And everyone say hi to Addie who just walked in. So I always start with doing the cheats that go on the inside of the silk. These are help with like catches and pole hits. So what I do is I hold the silk against the pole. It should be about half the pole, and I find about 1/3. And it's okay if it's a little bit off. These are a little bit off, but I'll fix them. It should divide the silk half into thirds, and they should be thick enough to feel them through the silk. So I fixed my cheater tapes. Now I pull my silk onto my pole, and I'm gonna make sure that the pointy corner right here, you guys have it on most flags except for some flags that have some funky shapes. I'm going to make sure that it's what I pull onto the pole first so that it's closest to the middle of the pole. Oh no, my tape. And then once it's all the way on, I'm going to tape right here, the edge, which is going to be where the crutch tip will cover, and then I'm going to tape over here, which is the tab. So I taped my tab, it's nice and secure, but I only did a few wraps because I'm gonna go over it when I tape over the pole. Now I'm going to tape up here, I'm going to wrap, and I'm going to try and take all of this extra silk wherever it opens for the pole, see right here, and I'm going to try and wrap that into what I tape. Now I'm double checking, making sure that I can feel in the silk where my silk cheater tapes are, and I'm just looking at it and estimating that they're about 1/3 apart all the way down. Now I'm going to start with my bolts. I'm going to put the big bolt in the top. A little, I guess, mnemonic to remember this is bot sob, big on top and small on bottom. I'm making sure that I've wrapped this part of the bolt so that it doesn't clang as much. And I'm just going to slot that right in, and I'm going to do a starburst to tape it that I will show you in a second. So here you can kind of see what I meant by starburst. It looks a little bit like an asterisk. I did one across like this, one across like that, and then I did 2 more making an X over that T that I made. And now I'm going to wrap around just once to hold that tape. While I'm up here, I'm going to really quickly slide on my rubber crutch tip over the top of the bolt. Just going to make sure that it fits, and I'm going to secure it on using the same method that I did for the bolt underneath the crutch tip. So I'm going to go across like this, make a T, and then I'm going to go across like this and make an X, and then I'm going to wrap around here, and I'm going to make sure that the tape that I did earlier extends past the edge of the crutch tip so that I can secure it down here as well. Really, I just want the entire crutch tip to be covered, because if you're using a black crutch tip and you're taping with white, you don't want any of that black to be showing, or if you're using a white crutch tip and taping with black. Here is a better picture of the X that I was talking about. Here you can see one piece of tape going across like this. You can see the edge of another piece going like that. And I think just underneath you can see that I made an X over, and this is before I've secured it, so you can see that all of the tape extends past the edge of the crutch tip. So right now I'm securing around the crutch tip just to make sure that that bolt can't fly out if the crutch tip were to rip. Just making sure that the crutch tip stays on in general, and I'm going to do it on the actual crutch tip and on the pole where I cut all of the tape to cover it, just to secure those edges as well. Just want to make it look really nice and clean. Now that I've finished with the silk part of my flag, I've moved on to the pole side. First, I'm going to secure in the bolt, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the top bolt, which was the big bolt. Now I'm using the small bolt. Just going to slide it in, and I'm going to make that starburst. Remember the X and the T. So now you can see I've done this starburst pattern all to cover this bolt, make sure it stays secure, and now I'm going to take long pieces of tape that are going to go down the pole vertically. And I will show a time lapse of that just so that you get a better idea of what I mean. You should only need 3 really long pieces of tape or 6 half as long pieces of tape. So now you can see kind of that I took vertical strips of tape all down the pole, so now it's entirely white. and I'm about to go over my tab, and I'm going to add 2 cheater tapes. You want these cheater tapes to be thick so that you have a little bit of extra tape in case you're about to fail tape your Tip Tuesday. And finally, I'm going to do my crutch tip, but I'll get back to that. So now I've re-secured my tab and I've covered up all of those raw edges from the vertical strips of tape, and now when I tug, it doesn't budge. And I'm going to divide my pole into thirds again. Just estimate, it should be about 1 foot because you're using a 6-foot pole. And that's where I'm going to put my cheaters, just like I did for my silk cheater. So I just put on my bottom crutch tip and I'm going to tape it the same way I did for my top crutch tip. Last thing, now that I have finished taping my crutch tip, I'm going to take a Sharpie or just any color marker that will show up on whatever tape you're using. If you taped with black, cut a small piece of white tape and you're going to put it on the side of your crutch tip right here, and you're going to write your name and your drill number. Once you've done that, you've taped your flag, and you're going to probably want to go ahead and do a couple taps on the ground to make sure it's not rattly. Check that your silk is taped on right, do a couple tugs like this. But once you've done that, you're all good. Bye guys, I love you all. Be good at color guard and don't be a problem on show day. Bye bye!